to the video, and today I'm going to be continuing my tips and tricks series. This game is going to be a Wattson tips and tricks that I will show you in firing range real quick. So let's get right into the video. First thing I want to say is that a lot of Wattson is the playstyle. So you need to understand that you can't just run around with Wattson like you would Wraith Pathfinder. You need to understand how she's actually played, and she's played defensively. This is obvious. She's obviously a defensive character, so you're going to have to play her in her role if you want to play her the best. If you want her to succeed the most, you're going to have to play her that way. So, first thing I want to point out is that I almost always carry around at least one, sometimes two ultimate accelerants. I know a lot of people like to have two. I think one is good. If you just play really careful, really safe, and don't waste your shield gen, then you should be fine with just one, but two is definitely not bad either. And the reason this is a big deal is because late game circles, you can get your ult back in just one ultimate accelerant, because as I'm sure you guys know, one of Wattson's passives is that she is able to get her ult entirely charged with just one ultimate accelerant. So, next thing I want to talk about is obviously when you're standing next to your ultimate accelerant, you get more, you get a faster recharge on your fences. As you can see in the bottom left, my fences are charging much faster. So if ever you need more fences, just go by your ult. So next I'm going to talk about just gating down an area or a building. Not sure what area. I could probably do it up here. Basically, there's a certain way you want to be gating things off. You don't want to just put fences everywhere and like just all over the place, because that's just never really a great idea. They're not going to be as effective as what they could be. So you really do want to put a perimeter up almost. And if I'm doing like a door, I know this isn't an amazing example, but I like to do triangles. As you can see here, it covers these two. So I would also probably do like this here, pull it back there. I need another ultimate, so I'll just hit an accelerant real quick. Yep, so I will just pull this
Sweet silence
over and extend it as far as I can to like right there maybe, and extend that over there. And that way, I mean, I know these ones are close, but it's a lot of fences pretty much everywhere. I always like to do triangles because I feel like it covers the most area, and I think it's definitely the most effective. Another strategy I use is if I'm locking down a larger building, obviously I put small triangles on the door, but also I will do these reverse triangles right here, so like this, and then I will bring it over to here, and then back here. And so, as you can see here, what this does, it really covers a lot of area. There would be no way someone would push into here. I mean, look at it. You could already see all the fences. It's a ridiculous amount of area that's being covered just by this. And if you have the doors covered with the smaller circles, I would do like that, probably, like for a door, just because you don't want it to be too big, because if someone comes in the door, you know, you want to have them not really be able to go very far without hitting multiple fences. So another tip I have is, speaking about doors and blocking them off, a really good tip to talk about is to put the fences as far in the corner as you can. That way the actual fence doesn't get hit. So for instance, there's no doors here, but you would put it as far over like this, so that if someone was coming up, they wouldn't be able to shoot it as easily. They'd have to get an angle on it, and usually they just have to walk through it and then shoot it. So next thing I want to talk about is just the actual fences and fence management. That's very important as well. As you can see here, when I pull out my fence, that little wheel on the bottom, that shows how many fences I have left. So if I place one gets destroyed up there. So place these three, right? And then I want to place more. Those ones are all going to get destroyed. But if you want this one gone specifically, and you want those ones up there still, all you got to do is pick this up and then you could replace it. As you can see, there's one more spot on the
Fence
wheel,
in position.
so that's more of a precise way of just placing your fences and being able to pick exactly which ones that you do not want there anymore, because sometimes people don't realize that they could maybe pick up nodes or how many fences they have left, and it's a really good way of managing it by just looking at the wheel and picking up whatever node you don't want, because if you're just trying to place one here and you want those ones up there, they're gonna break. You're gonna have to
Fence in
pick up
position.
one that you don't want and move it around. So next I want to talk about the ultimate, now that all the fences are talked about. And the ultimate is pretty much the most important part of Wattson. It's like almost the reason why she's so good. The fences are awesome too, but it's hard to push a Wattson because you can't throw grenades at her and the fences are everywhere. The ultimate is very important. So placement of the ultimate is pretty much crucial, especially when you're inside of a building. A lot of people don't place the ultimate right, but basically what you want to do is, say you were holding down this building right here, for example, if I can get into it. Okay, so say you're holding down this building, right? You know, there's a lot of open space. This is an example of a bad shield gen.
Combat's too
Okay,
noisy.
because
Shush
even if
now.
you do this, you know,
Setting a fence.
place some fences, can't even put it there. Even if you block it off, there's nothing stopping people from just shooting the shield gen. They have a direct shot at it, they're gonna melt it. So what you instead want to do is tuck the shield gen away, kinda. You want it still in like a good area so that it is blocking grenades, but maybe, you know, put it in here. This is a good spot for a shield gen, and then you hold like over here. Instead of up there, you would hold here. The shield gen is now in a safe and secure spot. You would put fences here as well, and the only angle someone could take it out is there, which obviously is not a very popular angle. You basically want to take it and put it out of sight lines. Like you could even put it here maybe. It's not as ideal, because people, like I said, can still shoot at it, but any corner, you just don't want the shield gen to be able to be shot from windows or doorways, because people will shoot it. It's something that's seen a lot in high ranked gameplay. You don't want to just have your shield gen out in the open and waste it, because then you might have to use another ultimate accelerant, and those are not exactly easy to come by, especially late game. So that pretty much wraps up everything. I'll just give you guys one bonus tip, and that is, if you are in a pinch ever and you're getting Gibraltar ulted, or maybe a Bangalore is about to ult, even a Caustic, and you know what's going to happen, you can put the shield gen down quick and it will block the entire ult. It will block all of Gibraltar's ult, and if you put it down before the Bangalore missiles start coming down, it will cancel out that as well. So that's a very good tip. I've used it before in a ranked game. I think I just posted recently. I used the Wattson ult to completely block out a Gibraltar ult, and it literally saved my life. And you could save your team's life as well if you don't have a Gibraltar bubble that can combat the enemy's Gibraltar ult. It's also good for caustics and any projectiles, obviously, but this little thing is nice to have on standby. You don't want to waste it, and in a pinch you can use it to save your life with any type of Gibraltar ult or Bangalore ult. So another bonus tip I have is, basically you just want to be careful with the fences, especially when you're locking down a room. That was weird. When you're locking down a room, an area, a building, anything, especially when there's doors, you want to be careful with the doors. You don't want to break the doors, because the Wattson traps will break them. So if you're going out of a house, leave the door open so that you can come back in and close it. You don't want to necessarily break the doors, because that could be a problem. You want to keep the doors intact, and obviously cover off every single entrance to the building, or at least the area you're occupying, before you go doing something like this. As you can see, this is a successful example of how a Wattson trap and how Wattson building rather should look. You have the shield gen, which cannot be seen unless you get this close, and obviously, you know, if someone's pushing you from here, they have no angle on it, they will not be able to do it, and the grenades are not going to go through. so you cannot get naded out. Clearly there's a ton of open area here that's being occupied by all these fences. They're pretty much everywhere. If there was a door back here, obviously I'd put more fences, but since this is a closed off area, there's no way anyone's pushing in. So basically those are the tips. Just Wattson off every door, do triangles, keep the shield gen out of sight, and you should be fine. So that's pretty much all for today's video. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.